So we're really excited. We've been following from the very beginning, since the Facebook posts, to the Kickstarter, to the comic book, to now the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's it been like to follow that journey?
Well, it's been absolutely incredible. I mean, for us, this project is like the prototype and the poster child for what we want Legion M to represent, because this is a project that came to us from our community, you know, and I don't know if you remember back on that Facebook post, like we chimed in and we saw how much our community was rallying around this, and but we're pragmatists and we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, so we said, look, we will take this on and investigate, but I just want to make it clear, making a movie about a, you know, historic superhero like this is not a small feat. Like,
No, yeah.
you know, and that was a few years ago, and Legion M was still kind of getting our bearings, and so yeah, it's really fulfilling now to see like how far we brought it.
Well, from like a post all the way to movie.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see the finished product. But we still have quite the journey.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of time ahead of us. The book, though, is exceeded all of my expectations, and everyone that reads it agrees that it's an absolute, it's a masterpiece.
It really is.
It's a masterpiece of graphic novel, and the art, the writing, everything about it is the storytelling. We're so proud of it. It really lays the perfect groundwork for us to make a movie. That was the goal.
And you know, what's the next milestone we can look forward to as fans of this journey?
Well, we're pretty close. We're going to be making some big announcements about the film. You know, hopefully soon. I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
You know, but there'll be, you know, big names attaching to the project.
So I won't ask you who'd be your dream casting, because then that kind of ruins everything.
It'd be jumping the gun. But let's put it this way: we are talking to A-list talent across the industry, and there's so much interest in playing this character. I mean, we actually have people reaching out to us through our network and asking, have you cast that role? What are you planning to do?
Anybody who knows about Robert Smalls would be a fool to not want to play Robert Smalls.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, and we're having conversations at the highest level.
But it's such a varied character through the journey, because I don't know how much a movie's going to cover compared to how much the book covers, but there's basically like 3 stories of him. There's the story of him basically growing up as a slave, there's a story of him basically, you know, taking charge in the war, and then there's a story of him taking charge in Congress. And so someone's got to be able to handle all 3 of those very different, varied personalities and presentations.
Yeah, well, and this is our plan. So the first graphic novel is volume 1 of a 3-volume set. And we haven't started on volume. I mean, we've written volume 2 and part of volume 3. We've got the outline for it. But we wanted to get the first volume out there to see how it did. We've been selling. It's been selling out. So
we're not giving up on volume 2 and 3.
No, volume 2 and 3 are almost for sure going to happen. We just have to, you know, we're prioritizing what we're focused on right now. But
are we going to break the movie into volume 1, 2, and 3?
Well, so what goes into the movie is still TBD.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that'll be a big part of that will be driven by the director that we attach. And what parts of the story they want to tell, and what kind of story that we want to deliver. We have our ideas, and we are looking for specific directors that are aligned with kind of like what we think should be, you know, the cinematic version of the Robert Smalls story, the first movie anyway. But, you know, we're not making any final decisions until we have that partner out.
If I can give one thing to say as a fan, I don't want anything removed. I want all of it. I would much rather have 3 movies than one movie that misses out on such great details of his life.
One of the things that Rob brought to us, too, was this idea that, you know, it can't just be that, you know, we tell part of the story and then everything else is just, you know, cards on screen that talking about like what he did after the heist.
No, you can't. It's so much. It's so important.
But a heist movie would be awesome.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Each movie would be so different.
A historic heist movie.
I mean, like you couldn't even title it Volume 1, 2, and 3. You have to just make them their own movies. And then have people who know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Well, thank you again so much. It's always a pleasure.
Nice to see you again.
So
Hey.
it's always great to see you.
Likewise.
I love
Good.
Volume 1.
How many comes is this for us?
I think we've gotten together and talked, I think, maybe like 5 or 6 times.
Yes, exactly.
And then we had a really long talk on the boat.
Right. Yes.
But no, I'm really happy for the Volume 1. I'm excited that I'm hearing Volume 2 is basically written.
Yeah, Volume 2 and 3 are in the works.
And
so
it's already doing so well that we're jumping the movie. So
man.
that's
yeah,
great.
exactly. Well, that's what we're hoping. We're being very cautious, cautiously optimistic. With the graphic novel, all the artists that we asked to say, if they could do it, some of the greatest, Ray Anthony Hyde, Nick Draper Ivory, John Damien Hill, John Damien Hill, sorry, all said yes. And the same is happening with actors, directors, people like, hey, when are you making this movie? Can I help?
I want to be in
it. Yeah, can I get there? And so that's really a wonderful thing. So from our humble beginnings on the boat to now, it's great. The books are flying off the shelves, which is fantastic. I think we've sold 8,000 so far, and we have a shipment coming in 2 weeks for 20,000. Almost all of which are already accounted for. So this is a good thing.
I know there was an initiative trying to get it in actual libraries as well. How does that go?
That is going really well.
Okay.
In fact, we're the question is, how do we do it? Can we do it with the 1 and then follow it up with 2 and 3? But yeah, we're getting a lot of. I think it's already happening where people are buying them in bulk. You'll see like Professor So-and-so just bought 40 copies. So that's a really wonderful thing. It's sneaking into schools anyway, because if I'm a teacher, I would love to teach this book.
Engage it with your audience. And, it's a beautiful way. It's powerful. The imagery. I mean, almost a little bit more so than a movie, because a movie kind of guides you.
Yes.
The book allows you to basically fill in the blanks between the pages.
Yes.
And see the motion inside your mind of what's going on. And that's why I've told several people here already, the most powerful scene for me was that slave market scene. And we talked about it before. The book,
yes.
With the smoke and the people, and then he looks over to the girl.
Yeah.
He sees some familiarity in it because he doesn't see himself at the same level as everyone else sees him.
Right.
And then when the event happens on that page, and he sees her face, she turns to smoke.
Right.
And that just evokes so much, like the fluid movement in my own mind was so powerful.
Oh, good.
I was talking to Marvin, he says he's got no doubt that the ability to convey that emotion in the film will be done. But how do you feel about it? Because it's powerful. Those scenes are powerful.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, if you had asked me in 2000, before I did Treasure Planet, hey Rob, there's this guy, whatever, we want you to write this movie, I would have said, I'm not sure. But now, Treasure Planet, Princess and the Frog, especially Captain America, I know how to tell these stories now.
Yes.
And so I'm really, really ready to get into it with a director and really, tell this story in the impactful way that it needs to be told.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. I mean, what's fun about that sequence in the book is that it's from the memory. It's a told story, right? So it's grandfather telling his story to his grandson, and what you see is his memory of that instance. And one point that I want to make in it, thematically, is that every time you see these slave narratives, there's always a guy like, chewing a corn pone, and he's clearly a bad person.
Yeah.
But that's not the way slavery worked. It was good people in a bad system, and that's that point where you say it's not the people. This person is generally good, but the system around them is so corrupt and so awful that that it changes people. And I think we're seeing that now. We're talking about it as I hope we don't get banned anywhere. I hope we don't get burned anywhere. How quickly are we going to show up on some people's radar, and they're going to start coming for us. Fortunately, the research in it is airtight, so they can't come at us like they did the 1619 project. The imagery, the emotionality, the universality of the story, I think is good enough to kind of hopefully will be kind of viral.
Yeah.
It is a comic book, graphic novel, so you can you know, you can kind of leave it on the kid's bed and they'll read it all, you know, they'll read it during the night.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully that kid will take it in to school and show it around.
It's a powerful message.
Yes, exactly.
It's a powerful story.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
Well, again, I'm always happy to talk to you, and I thank you
Likewise.
so much for more of your time.
Likewise.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Yes, absolutely. Great.